How's it going, guys? Brian from Apex Detail here. Today we're going to continue on with the compound series. And the Jescar Cutting Compound has been all the way up in the honorable mentions section for just about the whole run of the series. Today we're going to look at the correction system as a whole, with the fluids and the pads together. We're going to demonstrate on this panel. It's a trash panel. It has love marks, etching, stains, hard water spots, you name it, it has it. So we're going to isolate the correction compound and the cutting microfiber pad, and we're going to get started on a demonstration. What we're going to do, we're going to get readings, gloss meter readings, before we even touch the panel. See where we're starting. Then we'll grab the cutting compound, use the microfiber, cut out the damage in that section, the love marks, the etching, and the hard water spots. Maybe we'll take some measurements, or maybe we'll just hop to the finishing pad and their finishing cream, get the panel where we want it, and then take some measurements, and we can see the huge difference that this system can have for you with very little effort at all. So what we're starting here is 89.5 gloss units, very low, and we're going to be able to jack that up with this system. Let's get to it. Grab the fluids from your shelf, shake them up, get that rich formula mixed up, 3 or 4 pea-sized drops on the pad. We have the Griot's Garage 21mm today. We're going to set it on between the 3rd and the 4th speed setting, just the weight of the polisher. We want to keep the temperatures down in that small section, and let's get to correcting this little area. I'm going to demonstrate using a crisscross patterns. That's going to be equal to 2 passes. It's going to do it. Give me a second to set the polisher down, grab you guys, and bring you in close. Hardly any dusting whatsoever. Even out in the sun, it's a friendly compound to work with. The cycle time, or the open time for the compound, is nice and long. You can work it for a nice long period of time as those abrasives break down. And as you can see here, it removes rather easily. It's a user-friendly product. And as you can see here, just with 2 quick passes, it has removed that damage. Now, this compound isn't the most aggressive out of all the ones we have tested so far. And that could be a good thing. Those of you just starting out, you want to stay out of trouble. You don't want something too aggressive. But as you can see here, we made a huge difference in just a little time and with very little effort. What we're going to do here is grab their Micro Finishing Polish and their finishing pad, and let's remove the hazing and the dullness that is left behind from the cutting compound. The cutting compound will not finish completely. We'll just have to do a little bit of work to get out the most clarity out of this little area. So let me do that, and then we'll take some measurements, and we can see just how far the gloss has jumped up on the top of this roof here. By the way, same exact method, same speed, same pressure, just the weight of the polisher between the 3rd and the 4th speed setting, and we'll just do a crisscross pattern which equals 2 passes. When it comes to the quality of the pads, and that is both the foam pads here and the microfiber cutting pads, are quality. They're held together rather well. They're durable. The adhesive holding the Velcro for the hook and loop for your backing plate to the foam or the microfiber itself is quality, will not separate, and I've been able to use these over and over again with proper cleaning. That will do it. Let me set the polisher down, remove the tape. We can see the contrast of the corrected area and the rest of the panel. The finishing polish turns clear as you start to work it, which is great. You get to see where you're going, where you've been, the progress you've made in the areas you've already been. And as you can see here, it wipes off really easy, just like the correction compound. Let me bring all of you in for a closer look using the shop lights up in the ceiling. And you can see a huge difference with very little effort. And I'm going to get some gloss readings to see just how far we've bumped up the gloss and clarity in that area. Perfect? Absolutely not. Keep in mind, this is the roof. This is the highest part of the vehicle, and it does face the sun. I'm going to be removing less clear on these areas than I will on the side. It's just common sense. Facing the sun, UVA, UVB damage. You want to keep as much as that clear as possible. Yeah, we could have worked it a couple more passes, but why? So let me take a couple gloss readings. You can see the gloss and reflection we can get up there without removing a ton of clear. And we have made a huge jump from 89.5 to 97.8. They do have a dedicated all-in-one polish with some polymer protection, but a little secret, the medium polish works just as well. Team it up with the Eurofiber 50/50 microfiber cutting and polish pad. Let's go to the door here. As you can see, just as bad, but it has more marring from the car wash, so many layers of imperfections to work on here. I'm going to mask off an area. We're going to grab the medium cut polish, and we're going to grab the Eurofiber microfiber pad, attach it to the Griot's Garage polisher, and I'll demonstrate what it can do for you. Again, just a crisscross pattern. That's only 2 passes. Working on a car of this age, getting some turnaround with removing as little clear as possible. I mean, there is nothing more important because at this time, at this stage of the game, the clear only has protection of about 12.5%. You got to remember clear coat, its ability to protect from UVA, UVB damage has a half-life. Every 5 years, you can slash that right in half by 50%. We're going to be able to help the clear protect again with proper protection afterwards, after this correction. After I go around and make sure I remove as much as I can while keeping as much material of the clear coat as possible. We're going to go with an entry-level ceramic coating. I mean, it is an older vehicle. The owner went out and weighed the price of a new car compared to this one here, which still runs 100%. So the decision was easy for him to put a little bit more money and protect the vehicle for the rest of its life. So as Junior eases down to text some sweet nothings to his sweetheart, I am going to do a crisscross pattern for you here. We have the polisher on the 3rd or 4th speed setting. There's no reason whatsoever to jack up the speed of the polishers. Doesn't matter if you're using a rotary or a dual action polisher. Like I mentioned before in some of the other compound videos, keep the temperature down in that section. You have the whole panel at room temperature. I have the air conditioner on in the shop here, so we don't want to jack up the temperature above 20 degrees of what the rest of the panel is. The stress of the clear as it contracts and expands, and then the rest of the panel doesn't. That's a lot of stress to put on the clear coat. It's just something I want you to keep in mind as you're correcting. And just real quick, I'll show you. This is the highest I'll ever turn the polisher at the 4th speed setting. You'll easily be able to see you can remove the product. It's user-friendly, just like the rest of the line. So let me get rid of the residue here. I'll pull off the tape, and you can see the 50-50. This here, I'm just going to let it speak for itself. You saw the very little effort I put into it. Again, perfect? No. But the turnaround, just absolutely fantastic. By the way, the amount of clear removed would barely be measurable. And just to throw some numbers behind the progress we've made here. So I couldn't help myself. I went around and finished the rest of the door, and I'm going to continue this process all the way around the vehicle, and that's the way it's going to turn out. Well, let's get to that all-in-one. The dedicated all-in-one, take advantage of its diminishing abrasives. It also has polymers and a little bit of carnauba in there to throw some protection down. I could tell you not quite as sustainable as Power Lock Plus. However, it will do a good job, and we're going to top it with the detailer, the dedicated detailer they have. As soon as we're done here, I have an area masked off. We're going to get some measurements before. It's hazed over. It's not clear at all. Very low gloss, as you'll see here. That will give us an average of 75.9. So what I'm going to do is team it up with the Eurofiber pad. Once again, you could use their polishing pad, but I think the best teammate it will have will be that Eurofiber pad. So we're going to put 4 drops on. I'm going to go ahead, do the correction. We'll see what type of progress we can make with this all-in-one. That will do it. Let me set the polisher down and remove the residue so I can bring you guys in closer. Having used this, I can tell you this is not my favorite product out of the whole correction system. It is effective. It does get the job done. It works as advertised. Just not my favorite. The residue is a little harder to get off. You have to remember there is protection being laid down there. So I want to demonstrate in the corner here. There's a little bit left over, and it takes a little bit of pressure and effort to get that off of there. Not a deal breaker. Just wanted to bring that to your attention. All right, let's take a look. As we can see, not perfect. There's a lot of deeper imperfections, but a huge turnaround. Yes, absolutely. And there will be a huge turnaround with gloss. But you can see the deeper scratches in there. They're still left behind. Those were the underlying damage. So let's get some readings. All those readings will come to an average of 94 gloss units, and as you can see, another huge jump when it comes to reflection clarity and gloss. So let's bring in the Paint Refresh. That's their dedicated professional detail spray. Does that bump up gloss after you've had a panel that's finished, it's corrected, it's polished, it already has high gloss? Will this add any at all? Let's find out. That will indeed bump it up almost a full gloss unit. Now, that's not going to be any difference to the naked eye. It actually takes 5 points or gloss units or higher to see any difference to the naked eye. However, I'm going to take a bump in gloss where I can get it. This system here is fantastic, and if you're in for a new system, look into it.